Hello everybody and welcome back to the My Generation podcast. Just got a quick little announcement to do on the show here, but I hope in these times that you are safe and well. Really sending out my best wishes to all you the listeners, anyone listening to this. It's a time of uncertainty at the moment for everyone, and that includes the podcast and other creative outlets that I've got at the minute. So in this, I just wanted to announce what basically the future of the My Generation podcast is, because of these times. So basically, the show, I pre-record quite a lot of the episodes a little bit in advance. I know we make a little bit of a joke out of it on the show, how far in advance I record some of these, because in the sort of freelance film work that I've been doing over the last sort of couple of months and years, there are often times where, I sometimes can't actually record episodes due to the nature of the work, meaning that I might be able to go a month without being able to book in an episode. So even though we release them every Thursday from 6, I actually do pre-record them in advance, and across December, January and February, early February, we pre-recorded quite a few episodes, as I was expecting my March, April and May to be full of freelance work. Obviously that freelance work has slowed down quite considerably, and I'm sort of doing little bits and pieces from home, but the podcast itself, I've actually still got episodes lined up all the way through summer. Especially sort of up until, for now, the end of June, we have episodes booked in and ready to go. Obviously those episodes were recorded before the outbreak that has sort of meant we're all in isolation at the moment, and I hope wherever you're in isolation at the moment you are safe and well, and staying at home as best you can. But for the podcast future, I do intend to keep releasing the episodes that we've recorded on the current schedule, because I still do want to release and put out content that is uplifting and cheerful, with creative people who've got really interesting stories to tell, because a lot of the stories are timeless. I guess the only parts of the episodes that are really going to have changed is when I'm asking people about what they can do in the community to get involved in certain things. Obviously, some of the events they're discussing aren't going to be going ahead. The reason I'm going to be leaving them in the episodes, though, is because some of them you can revisit. So when everyone is back out and able to go out and attend things, if they listen to the episode, they can actually go out and do things. So I know we've got an episode coming up with Emily Cook, who talks about Doctor Who and what you can do to get involved in the Doctor Who community, and I know she's going to refer to a couple of events and sort of Comic-Con style events you can go to. I'm going to leave that in the episode because if someone's listening back to this in say a year or so's time, they might actually still want to try and access some of these events if they're available. I'm just letting you know so that when you're listening to these episodes, you've got context. I'm going to make sure that every episode's description has the context of when the episode was recorded, as I'd still very much want to release My Generation podcast episodes every Thursday for you, and because we've had so many fascinating guests, I just do not want to stop the release of the episodes. If you're happy with me still releasing them in that way, then please do let me know in the comments, or by liking this video if you're listening on YouTube. The podcast obviously is available on YouTube, Soundcloud and Spotify. Trying to bring together what people are doing creatively as well in these tough times. So if there is something that you're doing creatively, please do let me know. I'd love to bring it onto the podcast and tell people what you've been doing to sort of go through this time. Some episodes that are coming out towards during summer, I'm currently in the process of recording via Skype, so even once this has happened and all of the pre-recorded episodes are through, there will still be episodes of the podcast coming out. They just we might just have a reduced audio quality, as I'll be speaking to guests through Skype. I know I've already recorded one, so we've got it all set up, we've got it all working. But once I said again, if you're creative in the local Kent area, please do get in touch with me on Facebook at the My Generation podcast, as we would really still love to speak to you about what you're doing to push through these times. And I just want to hear from you and hear how you're doing, because I want this. I always wanted this podcast to be a community. And I know that we've still been releasing episodes with the context in the description as to when they've been released, and people have still been listening and getting involved, and I've really been appreciating it. I think this is like a very strong time to listen to podcasts, when, it's sometimes harder to speak to people outside of, Skyping them or FaceTiming or Google Hangouts. All of those are available and really valuable assets. I know the Meetup app, which I talked about in the very first episode of the podcast with Dan Inwood, we talked about how that brought people together. And Meetup was about, going to events and meeting people. And there are still Meetup events happening just virtually. So you can go on to Meetup and sign up to virtual hangouts with strangers. An incredible group of people, I can vouch for that. So please do stay in touch with people as you need to stay creative in any way that you can with the resources you've got. And the podcast is here. I know I sort of had to weigh up a decision as to whether to not release the episodes because they obviously had, been recorded before this happened. But I did want to make sure I kept the podcast episodes coming out to you, as there were such fascinating guests. I did not want to cancel them, but then again, you are the listener, so please do let me know in the comments, contact the Facebook page to let me know if you like this format, if you like this idea moving forward through the show, as I still want to release this every Thursday from 6, and then in summer we'll be going to a bi-weekly show, so there'll be, on Sunday evenings I'll be doing anecdotes just on my own, and then on Thursdays we'll have the guests, music from a local Kent artist. Sammy Bacon does his his music reviews. They're coming to the show, and then later down the line Harry Monday will be doing film reviews. So we've got actually so much stuff to be excited about here on the show, and for you to listen to. So please do let me know what you think about this, and let me know how you're doing and what you're doing to push through these times. As this is a community. The My Generation podcast is a community, no matter where you are in the world. So please do get in touch if you've got a story to tell or you wanted to bring a message onto the show, and I'll make sure I'm able to get those to you at whatever points. Yeah, if you hear anything in the coming episodes and you need the context, please do look to the top of the description where I make it clear when the episodes were recorded. Thank you all very much for listening to this update of the My Generation podcast. I hope you're keeping well and safe, and I wish you all the very, very best. I've been Max, and on Thursday you'll be tuning in with, I'll be having a chat with Charlie Hedges. I recorded this at the tail end of the last university semester back in December. We had a good chat about his cinematography work. Really excited to finally share that with you. Feels like a lifetime ago that me and Charlie recorded that episode, but it's finally coming out. Really great chat, really top person. Really great cinematographer, and you'll be hearing that on Thursday. So we'll tune in with you on Thursday for the next episode of the My Generation podcast.